A contractor making clothes for sportswear giant Nike has been caught using forced labour in Malaysia. An undercover investigation by 7 News discovered factory workers being paid a pittance and forced to live in squalor while Nike stars earn a fortune.
This is what Nike boasts to the world.
My better is better than your better.
But there are two sides to Nike. The public face, the hidden misery. Tonight, the evidence.
It's no great secret that designer sportswear is made in remote factories by poorly paid workers. But what's going on here in Malaysia is something altogether more sinister. It's human trafficking on a massive scale.
Here's how it works. Recruiters in poverty-stricken countries offer desperate men and women guaranteed work in Malaysia. But there's a catch, an upfront fee, the equivalent of a year's wages. Now they're in debt. On arrival, their passports are confiscated. Now they're trapped. Then, like these Vietnamese workers we met at a secret location, they must sign 3-year contracts in a language they can't read. It's a virtual prison. To leave, they must buy out their debt and buy back their passports. But they're paid so little, escape is impossible.
What they say in here is, oh, they've been trapped and they've been lied to.
An hour's drive from Kuala Lumpur is Hi-Tex Apparel, reputedly the largest t-shirt manufacturer in Asia. It's a Nike contractor. Cameras are banned here, but posing as a fashion buyer, I gain access to the factory. Nike signs are everywhere. We saw them on every floor.
Go, go, go.
We then sought out the living quarters of the foreign workers. A group of Bangladeshis pleaded with us to come in. We're led down a filthy corridor, past people sleeping, people eating. They're crammed like cattle, 26 men per room. A staggering 350 Bangladeshi workers live in this one tin shed.
Why is it no good?
Because you see so many people no enough room, so many people living here.
There are similar barns for the workers from Burma and Vietnam, and a separate barn for the women. But conditions are even worse outside.
So this is where you bathe? This is the shower?
This one company make.
This single trough is where hundreds of men bathe.
30%, 50%, how can shower, how can wash.
Next to the trough, the toilets. Next to the toilets is where they prepare their food. For these men, there is no escape.
That is one of the most squalid, heartbreaking sights imaginable. There's hundreds of men all living on top of each other. There's a searing heat, an overpowering stench. It makes you feel really angry what's going on here, and also just overwhelmingly sad.
They work 6 days a week for just 45 Australian dollars. That's less than the cost of a single Nike t-shirt.
They have no way of escape. So that is absolutely forced labour.
Nike's hypocrisy was displayed on each level of the factory floor. Nike issued a statement this morning branding the housing
unsuitable and not up to Nike's standards.
It states,
investigations are continuing into the claims made by Channel 7.
Nike pays Tiger Woods about $22 million a year to be the face of the Nike swoosh. But these men, the real faces of Nike, get less than $6 a day to live like this. Mike Duffy, 7 News.
Sportswear giant Nike is moving hundreds of workers to better housing in Malaysia after 7 News revealed one of its contractors is using forced labour to make its clothing. Australian human rights activists are also taking legal action.
These are the pictures that shocked human rights activists and Nike executives. Men from impoverished countries living in appalling conditions in Malaysia, working for a Nike contractor. They're trapped because their employer has taken their passports.
It's going to become public knowledge and it's going to impact their brand right around the world.
Nike knows that, which is why immediately following our report on 7 News last night, Nike flew an investigation team to Malaysia. And in a written statement, it declared their housing unacceptable and promised to move hundreds of workers out of overcrowded accommodation.
So many people no enough room. So many people living here.
But Nike executives aren't the only ones to respond. Spokesmen for the Australian Vietnamese community say relocating workers is a side issue. They've hired lawyers, demanding Nike's contractor give foreign workers back their passports and allow them to leave.
And if workers want their passports back, then the employers must give them back. There's no excuse for keeping them.
Australian unions have also joined the cause.
So they use the workers like slavery.
But as Nike knows, it's the opinion of customers that really counts.
I think global consumers don't know their own power, and one of the things that I think is hopefully coming is a day when the global consumers realise just how powerful they are.
Mike Duffy, 7 News.
Hundreds of workers making clothes for a Nike contractor in Malaysia have been freed from squalid living conditions and moved to much better accommodation after 7 News uncovered the scandal. The exposure forced the sportswear giant to order a fair deal for the workers, which will cost millions.
It's the house-proud grin of a young man in his new home.
I happy, all men happy. No.
Before we expose sportswear giant Nike and the Malaysian contractor that makes its t-shirts, he was forced to live in a cramped, filthy shed. 1,200 workers living like slaves. Now, thanks to 7 News, they're free. Our story forced Nike to act. These workers had come to Malaysia from poorer countries, many having paid a year's wages to land the job. On arrival, their passports were taken away. To escape, they had to pay back their debts and buy back their passports. On $45 a week? Impossible, until we revealed what was going on. Since our story aired, this shameful housing has been closed down. See these chains? The building is set for demolition and the workers have been moved to private apartments. This is one of 37 sites in Malaysia Nike suspects of similar practices. Nike executives refused to speak, other than on the phone from their distant US headquarters.
I can't begin to tell you how disturbed and upset we are.
They've now been moved from this
30%, 50%, how can shower, how can wash.
To apartments like this.
I think Channel 7 has proven once again that the media in a free country like Australia can be used to help people who are disadvantaged and exploited.
Nike and its contractor have also promised a refund of the $400 foreign worker fee, a refund of recruitment fees, unrestricted access to passports, and a free flight home for anyone who wants to leave.
Living okay, good. Toilet okay. Water I have.
It will cost bosses millions. The impact on these workers, priceless. Mike Duffy, 7 News.